You read the title right. I just spent an entire day being driven around by fully self-driving cars.
I've never experienced anything like this.
Yes, this is real. And yes, it's on real city streets. I'm gonna take you through what it was really like for the day, if it really feels safe, and how it compares to Tesla's full self-driving. This is not sponsored. This is my honest thoughts on what it's like to try Waymo's fully self-driving cars.
Oh, what the heck?
Also, if you like videos like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I do plan to test out more self-driving cars and you won't want to miss it. All right, let's hop in the car. So this all started as a Google project that has now become its own company called Waymo. They've been testing it in Phoenix for years now, and in 2021, it hit the streets of San Francisco. So I'm here in San Francisco. I've got the Waymo app. Let's try and hail a ride. The app is open to the public, but there is a wait list. Once you're in, it works just like Lyft or Uber. It's a beautiful day. Let's go to the beach. So I'm gonna put in Crissy Field Beach. 3-minute drop off, that's fine. It says this would cost me $12.27, but it's actually free right now because Waymo is still new and we'll request the car. Wow, see you in 5 minutes. Okay, let's go find it. It was able to pick me up in a spot that was right next to the edge of this park, so that was very convenient. At the pickup spot. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so wild. Okay, here it is. So we'll unlock it on the app. Lock. Wow. This is wild. I'm getting it. Hello. Hi. Uber for Shelby. Oh my god. Okay, so first impressions. This car is so nice. It's a Jaguar. Okay, Waymo. This feels surreal. Like, I feel like I'm in like a futuristic movie. It says start ride. I'm like nervous. Like literally no one there. No one. Start ride. We'll do it.
Heading to Crissy Field East.
This is wild.
When it first started driving, I was freaking out, and I will admit I was a little bit nervous, but mostly excited. After the first 3 minutes, I could see how the car was driving, and I already felt pretty comfortable. I started to get video shots, go on my phone, not really pay attention to what the car was actually doing. It's driving me now. And I'm not gonna lie, feels a little bit weird just to be back here. Like, I've never experienced anything like this. Things are good so far. A guy actually just crossed the street and it slowed down for him. I'm not that nervous about this compared to probably a lot of people. I have a lot of trust in this, but it still is crazy. And I am just getting so excited right now because this is like a dream come true. I kind of want to sit in the front seat next time. So over here, we've got a little menu. We can change the temperature. Ooh, I can play from my phone. How relaxing. I can play music and sing along. Like, that's one of my favorite things to do in the car, honestly. So now you can do that. Like, would I ever do that in an Uber with another person? No. Quick car tour for you guys. These are Jaguar I-Pace cars. They're SUVs with vegan leather, and you can sit in the front or the back. In both the back and front seat, there are touchscreens where you can control the music, check the map, and control the temperature. And you cannot sit in the driver's seat, nor can you even put anything in it. There are also 2 cameras inside the car. So for me personally, I felt comfortable with its driving pretty quickly. The first trip we took was just 15 minutes to get to the beach.
The first pull unlocks. The second opens the door.
Okay, so we've made it to the beach. It just told me over the speaker that the doors stay locked until you press a button twice. So that's good. It's not like it drops you off, immediately unlocks for someone to come like inside.
Sure, it's clear before exiting.
Okay, that's so awkward. It just pulled over in a spot that's like a 1-lane road. Ah! Honestly, I feel like the spot that it pulled over is not a very good spot. It pulled over on the road, but it didn't pull to the side where the cones are, so this was a little bit awkward. I felt like I had to hurry. See, like, this car waiting, that's kind of awkward. But I made it to the beach safely. My first ride was a success. To me, that was not scary at all. It didn't do anything dangerous. It drove pretty slow, actually. And I've had Uber drivers that are humans that are way scarier drivers, so I actually kind of prefer it. So I have heard that one feature with Waymo is that you can take it to the grocery store, go shop, and it will just wait for you while you're shopping. That sounds really cool, so let's try it out. Once again, this Waymo car got to me within 5 minutes, so it was pretty quick to pick me up. This was a 25-minute drive, and I was getting a little bit hungry, so I decided to eat this banana I had with me. I just
finish this banana.
But this is something I would not do in a typical Uber, but in this case, it felt totally fine, especially because this wasn't gonna leave crumbs or a smell or anything.
We've got 18 minutes left to get to Whole Foods. So you can see it driving. Do, 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 do. Totally normal. This is 2023. Ooh, oh, what the heck? That was the first weird moment that we've had. It stopped for a vehicle ahead, but there was a vehicle quite a bit ahead, and it did kind of slam on the brakes. It kind of felt like a phantom brake moment. That might have been a little confusing for you guys to understand, but basically it didn't need to brake, and it braked really hard. But, you know, just precautionary things, I guess.
So that was a little weird, but good to know it can stop on a dime if it needs to.
This car definitely does drive slower. That's kind of a good thing, right? Like, I would feel uncomfortable if it was racing around the streets.
Upon arriving at Whole Foods, the car did tell me to take everything with me because it might swap itself out for a different car. I knew this would be a quick trip, so I was hoping it would just wait for me. I just ran into Whole Foods, grabbed my sparkling water, interacted with yet another robot, and was out within 10 minutes.
Secured sparkling water soda thing, but the car left. So it's 5 minutes away, but just for the record, it doesn't like stay and wait for you. You have to take all your stuff with you. It's coming back for me.
It took about 7 minutes to get back to me, so you really might as well just end the ride and order a new one at that point.
Decided to go in the front seat this time just to mix things up. So let's hit start ride.
Heading to Mission Dolores Park.
Now it's probably even
Make sure your seatbelt is fastened.
crazier for you guys to see.
Question.
Up here, it definitely is a different experience because you look over and there's just nobody. It's kind of a bummer that it doesn't actually wait for you because it would be cool to like leave some stuff in the car. I did carry my backpack and everything with me, but I'm just carrying a lot more stuff with me than I normally would because I literally flew in here today and I'm flying back tonight. Still, it is cool that it's no extra charge or anything to make a stop. This whole trip, starting from the beach, stopping at the Whole Foods, and now going to Mission Dolores Park would be $20. It's still free right now because they just all are free, but normally it would be $20. Which is not bad considering this is probably a 35-minute excursion including the stop.
In terms of pricing, it seemed to be about the same price as other rideshare apps or a little bit cheaper, but it was never more expensive than Uber or Lyft. And right now it's actually still completely free, but they give you an estimate on what it would be when they start charging for it. So it's not cheaper than the other rideshare apps, but I would like to note that it is much more luxurious. It's more similar to an Uber Black. I mean, it's a Jaguar, and you have so much control over the environment in terms of temperature and music.
I'm kind of liking just sitting in the passenger seat, and it's not like weird. Like, look, I have all this personal space. This is so crazy. Now, I'm really curious to learn about how this works because it does seem much, much more advanced than Tesla. Their full self-driving is good, but I've experienced it do some sketchy things.
The thing with Teslas is that they only rely on cameras for the self-driving features in the newer models. They got rid of LiDAR, and Waymo has taken a different approach.
This car has so many cameras on the outside, so let's talk to some experts and see how the heck this works.
This is Jonathan, and he is a product manager at Waymo.
This spinny little thing is called LiDAR. It uses light to emit rays and it bounces back and it tells you kind of how far something is. These are cameras that are used. This is radar. There's also a camera over here. In total, we have 29 cameras all around the car. You can see some are up there, some are down here.
So right off the bat, you can see Waymo has a lot more instruments than a Tesla to detect where it's at. Between LiDAR, radar, and 29 cameras, it makes sense that this would be better at self-driving than a Tesla.
And then there's also one big one that you see is spinning SC right now. That is also LiDAR. So that gives us kind of like broad 360 long range coverage. So that can see something like insane, like 3 football fields away. Yeah, and then these go out 50-ish meters.
To some of you guys, it might seem like Waymo popped up out of nowhere, but it's actually been around for over 10 years.
Started as a Google project, right?
Yeah, it would started as a project called Chauffeur quite a long time ago. I don't remember even exactly when. But...
And when did you guys start accepting rides on the streets like this without a driver?
In Phoenix, in kind of like the East Valley, Chandler region, we started in 2020. Arizona's been like a really, really great place for us in the beginning.
The current model is very luxurious, but they have changed models quite a few times, and they did not start this way.
We started with the Prius platform, which, you see it in front, like we have the Prius right in front of us right now. We had this brief stint where we developed our own kind of prototype vehicle called the Firefly. And like, I don't know if you've ever seen them online, but they're like these small kind of like, almost,
I'll put a photo in.
Yeah, and then it's this platform that we have now. I really like this platform. I mean, it's like vegan leather interior, like it's kind of quite spacious. You can see there's quite a bit of like room in the back, especially.
Can you purchase one of these?
No, unfortunately not. You cannot purchase one at this time.
Otherwise, I'd be like, sign me up. Take my deposit.
I'll let the team know that we have at least one very enthusiastic customer.
One thing I was very curious to know, and I know you guys were also, was if the self-driving sensation would make me feel motion sick. Because honestly, if I'm not the one driving, I feel pretty nauseous when I'm in a Tesla, especially when it's on full self-driving mode.
It drives very smoothly. Like the fact that my camera is here, it's not suctioned here. And normally, anytime somebody else is driving, this would like fly away. But because Waymo 1, it starts and stops cautiously, so it makes for a pretty smooth ride. As a passenger, it's a nice experience, I will say, but you do get there a little bit slower.
So to me, it was much less nauseating than being in an Uber or a Tesla that's on full self-driving mode. I was shocked. I thought surely I would feel car sick, but that gradual start and stop does make a really big difference.
So I know what everyone is wondering is, how safe is this really? My personal anecdote, I felt safe in the car. I did not feel nervous at all, but that's just my experience. There is also a lot of data.
Of course, Waymo records all of the rides, and they publish it online for anyone to take a look at.
And I checked it out for you guys, and I read through the whole thing. No, I did not read through the whole thing. Are you kidding? We have ChatGPT now.
They published a scientific journal on stats from the first million miles driven, and they report any incidents that occurs, and there were in fact 20, but it's not what you think.
55% of all of the incidences were other cars just hitting a parked Waymo car. There was an incident that a Waymo hit a cone. It did hit a shopping cart, which isn't great. And it states that every vehicle-to-vehicle event involved one or more road rule violations and/or dangerous behaviors on the part of the other vehicle's operator. So a Waymo car has never been the cause of a car collision. There has been no injuries, no deaths in the 1 million miles driven. And they sum up this whole document basically saying that they still don't have enough data to make any actual claims. Legally, Waymo can't say that it's safe yet. There just isn't enough data. But like, as a person who, is not affiliated and can say whatever the heck I want, really, it felt safer to me than taking an Uber from a human. There, I said it. I know that's a radical thing to say to some of you guys, but I'm telling you, if you spent 5 minutes in one, I think you would think the same thing. The thing is, they're not just throwing these on a random street. They're condensing this down to a specific area that has been mapped out probably 1,000 times by Google. I really think even the most skeptical person, after spending 5 minutes in a Waymo car, I think you'd love it too.
Something a lot of people forget in this whole argument is that human drivers are far from perfect.
People drive very distracted now. People drive drunk sometimes. And some people just honestly suck at driving. Like, let's be real. But Waymo, it's never gonna be distracted or intoxicated, or even just being tired can affect your driving ability. It's always on its A game because it's a robot, and that is an amazing thing.
Don't get me wrong, I'm still rooting for Tesla and any company that's working on full self-driving, but I do have to be honest in that Waymo's full self-driving capabilities were much more advanced in my experience. I think it comes down to the fact that Waymo has not just cameras, but also LiDAR and radar. And Tesla took that stuff out, and I think that was a big mistake.
I know a lot of people probably think I'm team Tesla because I've made so many Tesla videos, but to be honest, I'm team whoever can get us to self-driving cars the fastest. And when you think about it, Google already has so much information mapped out. Ever heard of Google Maps? They're kind of a shoe-in to be the self-driving car company. I thought Tesla Tesla was it this whole time, but dang, Waymo really is kind of blowing them out of the water, if I'm being honest. I'm in my Tesla right now, but I will say its self-driving features, they are not as good as Waymo's. I personally don't have the full self-driving beta, but my boyfriend has it, and let me tell you, it jerks you around. It's not a comfortable experience. You're not allowed to sit in the back seat. You have to be paying attention because it does try and do things that aren't safe from time to time. I was just very shocked because this whole time I thought that Tesla was the full self-driving car, but no.
It's been a lovely day here in San Francisco, and I'm on my way back to the airport. I have a 30-minute drive. Unfortunately, you cannot yet take Waymo all the way to the airport, but I'm gonna take it all the way to the border that it will let me because it's just a more comfortable ride, to be honest. After a long day of flying and filming and all of that, it is really relaxing to just be in the car by myself for a little bit and play my own music and have the temperature exactly how I want it. I'm really comfortable, and I personally don't feel nervous about this at all. I'm actually leaving this day so excited for the future. Like, I cannot wait to live somewhere where we have this. I actually might get rid of my car if I live in a city where we have this. Earlier in the day, it was very quick to pick me up. It only took about 5 minutes each time. But I will say, when I called this one at 5 p.m., it took a full 30 minutes to get here. So once it hits 5 p.m., there's a lot more demand. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video and seeing me experience this for the first time. It really was so exciting for me. Like, I actually first reached out to Waymo back in 2019. And finally, 4 years later, I got to experience it, and it did not disappoint. It really didn't. I'd love to know what you guys think of this. Would you try it if it was in your city? Are you afraid of it? Comment down below. So hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.